Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver
Bix Weir,
now.
Road to Roota.com. Just got done with an interview with longtime friend of mine. I'm not allowed to say his name on YouTube because the YouTube algorithm search this guy out. That's how good he is. You can see it right there, right here on the bottom left. That's where to go. It's on Rumble. It's called Blood Money. Go check it out. We discuss some very interesting topics that can't be discussed here on the lovely censored YouTube. Anyway, moving on. Silver today is pretty much flat, right? Let's see here. I like this one. Pretty much flat. Today is Tuesday, so it's the end of the reporting week. So if there's going to be a move, it'll probably start tomorrow, up or down. I think most likely up, unless they want to keep building on the losses, which then they'll slam it down. Somebody's got to lose. Every time there's a winner, there's a loser. So if 95 to 98% of these trades are just two or three banks trading back and forth, which I believe, they trade off wins and losses. And I talked to Andy Scheckman about this a while ago. You can have a big loser in silver and then they make it up in gold, because this is not just about silver. This is about total control of everything. Run through a company called Virtu Financial, a high-frequency trading company. They went like 8 years without a loss. So, for example, you can have Bank of America losing $1 billion in a month on silver, but gaining it back $1 billion in a month on gold. And have counterparty JP Morgan, for example. That's the way the game is played. It is impossible to beat these guys at their game. So the only thing we can do is take physical out of the market, out of their hands, and wait, and sit on the sidelines and wait, okay? But this is also the place that the bad guys will be destroyed if the good guys can pull it off. Can they pull it off? Absolutely. They're in charge of everything. Look what happened to JP Morgan when Jamie Dimon tried to destroy the economic system so Trump would lose the election. What did Trump do? He put a Rico charge, racketeering charge on JP Morgan for gold and silver. That was Trump's battling Jamie Dimon in the deep state right there. Keep an eye on Jamie Dimon in the deep state. They're going to have more Jeffrey Epstein issues coming up over the next weeks and months. That is big. That is gigantic, because they were the only banker for Epstein, just like they were the only banker for Bernie Madoff. But we need to call out the criminals as we see them. Don't go charging them for things that they didn't do, but absolutely jump up and down and scream at things they do. I remember back in 2008 to 2016, when the entire silver community, 3,000 people, sent letters to the CFTC saying, why aren't you going after these people? It's obvious JP Morgan is rigging the market. Why aren't you doing anything? The CFTC opened an investigation. For 5 years, they sat on the trading desk at JP Morgan silver traders and couldn't find one instance of market manipulation. Come, 2019, JP Morgan gets, after they're trying to destroy Trump's shot at the election. That's election interference, by the way. The DOJ found tens of thousands of instances of market manipulation during that period that the CFTC investigation was going on. And that was Gary Gensler, the current head of the SEC, was running the CFTC at the time. Bart Chilton, like the only guy I've known on the CFTC ever to give a shit about the people, said, after he left the CFTC, he told Chris Marcus, yes, we had JP Morgan dead to rights for rigging the silver market, but a political decision was made not to stop them. Welcome to America. A political decision was made to stop them subvert the most important thing in the economic system, which is free markets. If free markets don't work, nothing works. And that's what we're seeing. So we are about to see an absolute explosion in the price of silver, and it could come with something like this. One of China's biggest commodity traders goes missing. He Jinbi, the founder and chairman of Maki Metal International, one of China's top commodities traders, has reportedly gone missing in recent days and is suspected to be in police custody, as reported by Bloomberg. Colleagues have not heard from Jimby for several days. The people indicated that Jimby was escorted by police for questioning in his home province of Shaanxi. The reasons for Jimby's detention were not immediately known to the people. Over the past year, Maki, based in the Sichuan province, and Jimby have faced legal scrutiny by creditors, especially after the firm experienced severe challenges paying for imported copper. Now, copper and silver go hand in hand. Two industrial metals. They're mined at the same places, too. The biggest silver mines you'll find as a byproduct of copper production, mining production. The company responsible for a quarter of China's copper imports was crushed by repeated COVID lockdowns, blah, 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 blah. Interesting to note that a while back it was JP Morgan at the other end of the trade. Where's it? Here we go. As noted in April, when Maki Metals International ran into trouble last year, JP Morgan was left with about 30,000 tons of copper it had been financing for the trading company. So JP Morgan, how they secured the copper is anybody's guess. But they loaned money to this company, and the company bailed. So Jamie Dimon and friends ran in and instantly got the 30,000 tons of copper and made themselves whole. That's how knee-deep these guys at JP Morgan are in on the commodity. It reminds me of a lot of Mark Rich. And Pincus, what is his name? Mark Rich, many of you know, was the biggest commodity trader in the world for decades and decades. He didn't follow any rules. He had this guy, his shipping guy, he was able to go into any country. He paid off every single country to make things happen. One of the richest people in the world. He was pardoned by Bill Clinton, the very last thing Clinton did. Mark Rich was one of the top 10 wanted people in the United States, the FBI's most wanted. Guy named, his real name was Mark Reich. So put that in your hat. Great book written about him called Metal Men. If you guys want to read about the underbelly of commodity trading, read a book called Metal Men. It's all about who can do what, who can screw who can kill off who. And Mark Rich's company split into two companies, Trafigura and, I forgot the name. The big one. It's one of the biggest commodity companies in the world. Now I got to look it up. Okay, hold on. Glencore. It's Glencore. So Glencore, as many of you know who are in business, is one of the biggest companies in the world. That was the legit side of the Mark Rich company that was split up. I think it was in the 90s or early 2000s. And then the criminal company was Trafigura, so they can do both. They can pretend to be legit, and then the privately held Trafigura would do all the shady shit. I mean, they were doing things like shipping oil out of Iran when there was an embargo, all kinds of stuff. He feared for his life at all times, but he did what he was paid to do. If you want to rig the commodity markets, you had to go with Mark Rich. That's how Clinton ended up with the strong dollar policy. You guys remember that? The strong dollar policy when Clinton was in. It had nothing to do with keeping the dollar strong. They were still printing as much money. They changed how Social Security payments were treated on the books. They counted it as income instead of an IOU, a lockbox. So, all this stuff comes back to commodities. Commodities are the number one most important thing to keep the underlying economic system flowing. You got to keep commodities cheap, and they're able to do it with computers and derivatives and traders such as the underhanded JP Morgan. Blythe Masters was running the commodity division at the time. She's the one who came on TV and said, we don't rig metals, that would be wrong, and we don't do it. A couple months later, she was busted for rigging the energy markets, and then we all know what happened to gold and silver. She was in charge during those years that JP Morgan was busted for Rico charges for rigging the silver, gold, and the U.S. Treasury markets. She was in charge of silver and gold. Why her her direct reports are in jail and she's not, I don't know. Well, I do know. It's a criminal game. Why isn't Jamie Dimon in jail for financing Bernie Madoff and Jeffrey Epstein long after they went to jail. Nothing happened to Jamie Dimon. Nothing happened to the board of directors of J.P. Morgan, who's also knee deep. They were knee deep in Bernie Madoff, and they're knee deep in Jeffrey Epstein. So more of that will come out very soon. But a lot has already come out, and nobody's doing anything about it. All right, a couple key things to keep in mind. The U.S. Mint now. I contacted my guy there. I said, "Hey, what's going on? You guys hadn't posted in a month. Are you not? Have you stopped selling Silver Eagles?" He came back to me and said, "Oh no, don't worry. It was just a oversight." And he posted like all of September and part of October, and that was like 7 or 8 days ago, and nothing has been posted since. These guys are supposed to post every time they sell an ounce of silver. They're supposed to post it on this page at the U.S. Mint. Right here, sales totals by month are updated every weekday by 5 p.m. Eastern. And nothing. We're, 11 days, 10 days into October, and nothing. So we got to keep on them. Yes, they've done better. They aren't living up to the law still. And according to my guy, Jack Sherman over at the Mint, the head of Silver Eagle sales, they've increased the number they're going to sell to 25 or 24, between 24 and 25 million. Which means they're going to do $3 million this month and next month. But here's the deal. Why did the silver blank purchasing department stop there? I mean, why aren't they out there every day scraping to get more silver blanks? And because demand, I would guarantee you, if they were priced appropriately, which by law they're supposed to be priced without any markup at the Mint, we should be selling 100 million a year. 100 million Silver Eagles a year is my guess. We already had, the biggest month ever, I think, was 47, 48 million Silver Eagles. So, and that was years ago. And everything is so much pro-silver now, with inventories disappearing, with wars breaking out. Don't forget, silver is a monetary metal and an industrial metal. On the industrial metal side, Elon Musk sees a big shakeup in the economy coming, so he's trying to get as many cars as possible out there on the road. Tesla vehicles now priced to compete with traditional internal combustion engine vehicles. So if Tesla's giving away cars at cheap prices, that's a lot of silver that keeps going out the door. Not as much as solar panels, mind you, but it's still a lot. And if Tesla lowers their prices, all these guys got to lower their prices, except, we have that big auto strike going on also. So the world is falling apart. So the monetary side of silver, that's the side we really want to kick in. Industrial, they're going to consume 60% of the silver that's mined every year, no matter what. Come rain or come shine. Yeah, if there's a recession or a depression, it might go down a little bit. But usually during that time, at least in the past, before the market rigging, before 1971's Alan Greenspan invention of gold and silver market rigging with computers, before that, when wars broke out, gold and silver prices would move up. Well, war's breaking out, and there's no doubt the bad guys want us in that war with Israel. Oh, we'll support Israel no matter what they do, which is the most ridiculous thing ever. But we've already given hundreds of billions to Ukraine. You don't think won't do that same thing for Israel? They're going to try to drag the United States of America into a nuclear war if they could. Hopefully, smarter heads will prevail and we'll get the hell out of every country. Bring all our troops home. We have enough problems here. Put them on the border if they need something to do. Get rid of the 33 million people who work for the government in the United States. The federal government's supposed to be tiny. Hardly anything. You uphold the Constitution, and then the states have all the other jobs. But no, that's not what's happening. And the states can't print their own money, by the way. Only the federal government can. Very interesting. Any state can start a Bitcoin mining rig. Go ahead. Gavin Newsom, Mr. Tech, Mr. Green Energy. Why not start mining, let's just say, something that's a proof of stake coin? Can you say Theta? Come on, Gavin. Start mining some Theta and use Theta in your economic system, because Theta it doesn't cost electricity. It's proof of stake. And it's safe the way they do it with the guardians and the validators. Yes, Theta is the way of the future, but to get between here and the future, we're going to have to go through some crap. Who knows what cryptos will do? We won't know the prices of cryptos. We won't know the prices of silver. You will know how many you have in your own possession. And then when the new system starts up, however it does, hopefully it won't be a CBDC run by the World Economic Forum. I don't think it will be. Then cryptos are going to be the most valuable. That's when I'm going to sell my silver, because at some point silver will be freely traded, and swap it for cryptos that will be used in the future, and voila, we move on. So that's what I got for you right now. roadtoroota.com. Go check it out. Don't forget to go to Rumble and look for the Blood Money Bix Weir. And that's the guy I interview with right there. See it at the bottom? Also up here on the right side, right there. Can't say his name on YouTube. Can't have any free markets in YouTube. Any freedom of speech on YouTube. It's embarrassing. Go to roadtoroota.com. Click on free public road updates right here. Put your name and email address in. I mail something out almost every day. Go check it out. This is Bix. I'll talk to you later.